think a lot of people who are conversant with northern politics will know that both Leandro and Mapinduzi are sort of mentored by Mao, and but Leandro seems to be like the second lieutenant to Mao with Uganda Young Democrats. That seems to have been his baby, and through Uganda Young Democrats, a lot of other politicians came along. You have the Tony Kitaras, you have Mapinduzi himself, even Mwagale Tukumoi himself, and another one possibly is you have Okot Alperichian, and these guys were very influential at the time we were in the university running demonstrations. If you remember the Kakoza Mutale era, going in schools and beating up people and all these things, these guys really stood up for students and all of that, and they did a great job while they were at it. So yes, Harry, I'm back to you. Unfortunately, I can't seem to locate Leandro. I'm still waiting for Uhuru Francis. I think he's running for Gulu East. I was just saying about a minute ago the role Uganda Young Democrats performed, and that was Leandro's baby. And now Leandro seems to be Mao's second lieutenant, sort of in northern politics, as it would be. And as you're aware, the Young Democrats mentored a lot of these guys that are going up against him now. It would really be best for him to answer whether both him and Mao feel betrayed. But very briefly, leadership and legislation, is there really a difference?
To me, okay, I know in the book definition, there should be definitely a definition. But there are some people there are some individuals who can do well in elected positions, say like as law implementers. Then just to go straight to the point, to start from Honorable Mao, when he was in parliament, he was so excellent. But as the LC5, he didn't perform so well. That's to my opinion. Then another person that I can give an example is a woman MP of Moro. As an administrator, where she was an appointed leader, she did so excellent. But as a lawmaker in parliament, yeah, to me, it has not been so satisfactory. So that's how I can best give example 2 points, because some people have voted on their meritorious administrative position, but when they reach into parliament, things don't turn out as good as they expect.
Okay. Do you think this could be Ojara Mapinduzi's fate? Because the people seem to have a lot of faith in him, but I think perhaps they are giving him too much credit, because a lot of the things that were done, he just got lucky. A lot of the developments were implemented during his term. I mean, when you talk about the road constructions, you talk about Gulu Market, all of these things seems to have been advocated for by somebody else, and they were already in the pipeline. He was just lucky that these things were implemented in his term. So I'm just kind of wondering, do you think he did a great job supervising and monitoring these projects, I must say, but do you think that would be his fate if he went to parliament?
It's not even just luck. So as a mayor, definitely he administered the role that he was in, because that's the role
as
of
an LC5 chairman. As an LC5 chairman, that's correct.
Yeah, because that's the role of an administrator, because they give you, because you're not supposed to have the income out of your pocket, or they give you the funding or the taxpayers' money to put it into proper use within certain time frame. So that's where he did exception. It's not just luck, because annually there's always that budget for every very great role overseeing.
As I say, he's a bit lucky because these projects were probably already in the pipeline. They just happened to be implemented during his term, and the voters seem to tie these projects to him. I'm not taking it away from him. Yes, he did a great job supervising, but you would have thought the people that, for example, Gulu Market was probably advocated for by even the literature are probably advocated, some of the roads, even the city status itself. You would probably associate those with sort of the actually ministers, the Oriems, the Todwongs, and these projects just come down to his office and he excels in implementing them. And for some reason, the voters seem to think he is solely behind it. And this is why I'm kind of questioning fate be the same, like for a brilliant chairman LC5, and he makes it to parliament and he really can't perform.
In parliament, for me, like I said, to me as an individual, yeah, if it would have been, I would have wished him to serve one more term as a mayor, LC5 Gulu City, Lord Mayor, but we have different ways the way we grow our careers. So to me, the way I see, probably he sees he has served Gulu maybe 2 terms, so he wants to move on. But okay, 2 terms, yeah, it's what I see. Maybe he sees that he has served 2 terms, so that's enough to pave way for another leader. So which I see that's a good point. But as like for city's perspective, 1 more term would have been good to usher Gulu into city. That would have been a good, yeah.
Okay, I really appreciate that. I see Charles Olak from the UK is online as well. I'll try to bring him. It looks like he's trying to come on. I'll try to bring him and ask him a simple question as well. But yeah, the other question I was gonna ask you is, do you think, you know, voters' expectations is kind of driving up the cost of political campaigns, and in a sense taking away the aspect of accountability of these MPs? We're seeing a situation where voters are having to, candidates are having to spend unimaginable sums of money to bribe, to buy, you know, this and that to please their constituencies. The people seem to be expecting this hands-on member of parliament who is always on the ground. Do you think these expectations and asking for all these favors and do for us this, it seems the measure at the local level is, have you built for us a school? Have you done this? Have you donated to this? Have you donated to that? Which really is not the member of parliament's role whatsoever. So do you think this is driving up the real cost of political campaigns and in effect taking away accountability? Like, these people spend so much when they get to parliament, their first priority definitely then becomes recouping what they spent during the campaigns. And in a sense, are the voters breeding corruption themselves?
One problem here begins from we the voters, because one, it's not a member of parliament's role to dash or build roads. That's not a member of parliament's role. That's the overall government's role, because that's the tax that the locals pay that builds them the roads that they use. So parliamentarians are to push or lobby. They are kind of like our lobbies at constituency level in parliament, because they are to. So by making the voting so expensive, one, you're driving them away from the constituency, because they'll have that mindset. If I go back to my constituency, that means I have to leave something kidogo, of which any parliamentarian is not entitled to that. That's why I tell we need to sit down and we should look down into LC3. unsung heroes that people are not singing about. LC3 is the backbone of every constituency.
And the mayor as well. Just a few weeks ago in a WhatsApp group, Obol Simpleman raised an important issue. He said people are only looking at member of parliaments, but for a new city, we really need to be looking very closely at the position of the mayor as well, because in effect, it's the mayor's duty to lobby and bring new funds into the city. And so we really need to be looking at, do they have the and in fact, even the member of parliaments, it's somehow going to be their role to lobby quite a lot for funding and attractive to everybody else. I mean, about 4 cities have been approved. There's more still being approved. And so there's going to be a lot of work and a lot of competition for the scarce resources, for investors' resources. And when you look at Gulu, really, Gulu has been left with nothing. All the good farmland, the natural resources are in the constituencies that have been carved out, like Amoro, Nwoya, and Omoro. But I haven't had any of these member of parliaments really present, these candidates present really a solid vision of what they're going to do to make Gulu a vibrant city. Because as it appears right now, in terms of resources, Gulu has nothing to stand on, really. Gulu only has its human resources and possibly services and other things.
Talking about Gulu, so we need to see a parliamentarian who can lobby, who can transition Gulu into more of like, let me say, is it like services city? Say like, for example, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, talk of Singapore, now talk of Kigali. There's nothing like really no natural resources in those cities, but making that kind of like service city or like implementing tech or like new inventors city, or like one thing that we should take seriously. I remember in 2000 that there was that cultural festival that they did, actually region dance competition. That could be like an annual festival. People take that as something lightly, but if it's made its home ground and made in Caribbean, and it's like an annual event, that would know that, okay, December we have like tourist attraction in 2 cities, because definitely our dancing, no matter what tribe or which color you show our dancing, our cultural dance, then you interpret it for them.
So in a nutshell, you're emphasizing the value of culture and arts to a city. It's one of the things that makes a great city, besides architecture and other things. And yeah, there is still hope for Gulu, but do you feel like any of these candidates right now are cut out for the job? Because I don't see anything forthcoming from them, really. Most of it is a lot of bickering, who has done what and who has stolen what, and nobody seems to be presenting to the voters very solid grounds why they should really be voted. Except maybe Mapinduzi with his manifesto launch, it did come out quite strong with that. So do you think, in your opinion, is any of these current candidates really cut out for the job of lobbying and making Gulu a great city?
I think, yeah, that's what makes Mapinduzi might have a ground to stand on, because as a transitioning from municipality to a city, so I know it's going to capitalize on, okay, how can I help Gulu transition? So that means he will still act as a parliamentarian who is supporting a mayor. So that will be like that will be that connection between the mayor and the parliament. So like the way you say, connecting the link between the local leaders and the parliamentarians is what we should see. This thing of like going back to this thing of handouts, where making our parliamentarians run away from our constituency. It should one thing that should be stopped, because handouts means nothing. Like they always say, show a fisherman give a man a hook or a net and teach him how to fish, other than just giving him a fish for 1 day meal. Because these handouts and meal, it's what is destroying communities. Say, okay, I know in London there, you see in a kind of like the poor black communities. What's killing those communities? And it handouts. Come to US here, it's the same thing. Go to Australia. If you see any struggling communities, those are communities that are who are feeding on handouts.